Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still working on getting these railways built, and we're hoping to get cultural exclusion enacted pretty soon. Our loyalist count is pretty high, and I'm hoping that will continue to get higher. I think after that, once we've given the reactionaries a little bit of time to cool off, we might even go to right of assembly. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I know the Intelligentsia would be pleased if we did that. I think I can... Well, we'll leave the taxation situation where it is for the moment. Venezuela is improving relations. You know what would improve relations with us, Venezuela? You know what would make us very happy? Is if you were our protectorate. It's still going to be a little bit dicey naval invading them, but I think I can make it happen. I can't be too... I'm going to put this fleet over here, and there's cultural exclusion. Excellent. So that has reduced our authority, but everything else is looking okay. So, let's see what else we can do. Can't go to universal suffrage yet because we don't have egalitarianism. We're actually pretty far behind from a social perspective. Actually, there are a lot of things here we could definitely use. Let me see here. Alright, so I think egalitarianism is definitely a priority. Because getting universal suffrage will help get our politics out in the hands of the wealthiest, which it still is to an extent because we're on census suffrage, and that still does have a wealth requirement. Central archives would be very good for us as well. That would help us with our bureaucracy problem because we're having kind of a chronic bureaucracy problem. Central banking would be really good for us because we've got a lot of minting from all of our tasty, tasty gold mines. As you can see, we're getting about 6k from gold mines, so getting minting buffs is pretty strong. Militarily, though, I would love to be moving ahead militarily. The next big tech is breech-loading artillery, and we're actually on our way there, so maybe... Well, triage would also be really nice. Fieldworks... Oh, Fieldworks is what unlocks barbed wire fences for ranches now. Okay, so that's a much earlier tech than it used to be. Wonderful. But we're also not exactly where we want to be in technology as well. We're not... things are a little rough. Things are a little rough technologically. But to solve that, we can go ahead and build ourselves some universities. Let's see, we got a lot of people in Minas Gerais, so that's a good place to build a university. Let me see. I feel like Rio Grande do Sul needs university. Santa Cruz for sure. And then I think we'll put... I thought we had a bunch of... Yeah, here we go. Pernambuco. Pernambuco needs a university, because I think this is another place we're going to pretty heavily industrialize. And then we'll queue one more into Rio de Janeiro. And that should... So that'll be 7 additional universities. That's 21 more innovation, and that should help us. Diplomatic ties lost with Belgium. Hold on. But my money! My money! We've actually got a bunch more capacity available. Oh, right, because we've got puppets and territory in all of South America now. Alright, so we'll declare... we already had an interest in the Caribbean. My bad. So we'll declare one in the Rhine region. We'll declare one in the Balkans. We'll declare one in France, and then we'll just kind of leave the rest of it. So what else do we want to do from a reform perspective? We make cultural exclusion happen, and that's very good. Yeah, I think we're going to go to right of assembly. Let's see. The Catholic Church is going to be very salty. The armed forces are not going to love it. Ooh, maybe we should wait on the armed forces. Actually, yeah, let's wait on the armed forces. And do our little adventure in... Well, hang on. How long is this going to go? We've got another 4 months for that. Let's wait on that. No, we won't. Time to go forward. Be my protectorate, Venezuela. Perfect. Alright, so as predicted, we do not have a front with them. But we're going to get our main army going here. And we're going to naval invade. So let's actually queue in... I need more ships in this army. Some of our men of wars are not able to hire, which is not great. Let's put more frigates in Rio de Janeiro. We're currently building a railway in Rio de Janeiro, so that should be well within our capabilities. And that'll just be to get this fleet up to having enough ships in it that it can actually transport the army that we're building. The army that we're going to send over there. Alright, and we'll see if anyone wants to get involved. Colombia wants to get involved. Alright, that's interesting. What do you want, Colombia? Transfer states. They want Amazonas. Nope, don't think that's going to work. War goals. Humiliate. I don't necessarily want to humiliate Venezuela. So, on the other hand, having Colombia in this thing would give us a front, a land front. Yeah, we'll do it. Sorry, sorry, Venezuela. You're going to have to be humiliated. It's just more convenient for me. Perfect. Alright, so now we don't need to worry nearly so much about our navy, although it will be good to increase the size of our navy. And we can put our army on there. In fact, we can put another army on there, but I think we might not need to. Let's just do it anyway. We've got the military strength to do it, so let's just go ahead and do it. And we'll mobilize this army as well just to make sure they're ready to go in case some chicanery happens. We do have a pretty strong movement for protectionism. I know the industrialists demanded free trade a while ago. But if we put Rondon, this guy, into the government, we could get them started on protectionism with the support of the industrialists. And that would be really good. So I think we're going to do it. So now he's there. And we can get protectionism, and we got a movement, so there's a huge chance of it passing, and that's perfect. This movement is now placated, and everything will be chill. And then everyone will be much happier about the whole free speech thing. Excellent. Freedom of trade completed. Marketplace of the world. The Brazilian market has grown famous worldwide for welcoming and open to foreign trade. We will enjoy the most exotic foods from the most distant markets, not through the conquest or subjugation of foreign peoples, but through offering them what we have in return. A nation which is confident in what it has to offer has no need for arms, except, of course, if arms is what is selling. I can get extra trade competitiveness or reduced bureaucracy cost. I'm going to go with reduced bureaucracy cost, because that's going to let us sustain... That didn't reduce the bureaucracy cost at all. Sad. We're going to go ahead and set our strategic objective in Miranda. And just to make sure I'm not making this up, this is the capital, isn't it? Yes, alright. I've played enough Hearts of Iron 4 to know what the capital of Venezuela is. Tell me you play as the USA without telling you play as the USA. I play as the USA a lot, and Venezuela tends to get involved. Why are small arms so expensive? Give me your guns, Prussia. I just wish I could shoot every gun. And there's realism. Do we have arts academies at all? We do. We do have arts academies. Let's make the art more realistic. And we currently have traditional patronage. Let's go with independent artists. More academics means stronger intelligentsia, and that's good for us. A lot of progressive drafting. Oh, we got one success already. Excellent. And we are winning this battle, which is making me feel pretty good overall. So once we have North Peru as a dominion, I think we can go ahead and attack Ecuador without being afraid that they will get up to some nonsense. Because we'll have a land front. And as I've already stated, I'm a little nervous about any foreign adventure that requires me to do a naval invasion thus far, because number one, my armies are not that strong, and number two, I don't have that much of a navy. So let's get in on these battles. This one's for sure going to be a success. They're dug in, but we're already pursuing and they're already retreating. So that's, I say already. It's not that it's been a short battle, it's just only been a short battle from the perspective of us watching it. A scandal in Rio de Janeiro. Another one. Undone. No. No. Police have shut down a notorious male brothel. The arrested proprietor has revealed that Gaspar Rondon is part of his clientele. Okay, hold on. Both Rondon and the guy before him. No, that was a different script. That was the petite bourgeoisie. Never mind. But hold on. Defensive pact offer from Belgium. Let's... Oh, that could be... I'm going to decline. I like your cash, Belgium, but not... I don't necessarily need to be allied with you. An undescribably loathsome scandal has struck Rio de Janeiro. The captured boys are made to confess, and the informant reports that another sensation about this affair will soon burst. 22 men implicated, blue bloods and others, have fled from Brazil. He must resign immediately or try to cover up the story. I'm going to try to cover up the story. His current popularity is 85. Let's see if it goes down. It did. It got out. Discord within the petite bourgeoisie. An influential faction within the petite bourgeoisie has grown frustrated with their co-members' neutrality on the topic of protectionism. Themselves in favor of the law, they've now resolved to form a separate political faction intent on passing it. How can you all stand idly by and watch the world pass before your eyes? Have you no sense of honor, of duty to your fellow man? I say nay to such lack of ambition, and I dare say I am not alone in this. With their support, the bill shall pass. Weaker petite bourgeoisie, stronger, more enactment chance. Or the rural folk extend an open hand to these mavericks. Slightly less enactment chance, but still a bonus. And a reduced, much larger penalty for the petite bourgeoisie and stronger rural folk. The rural folk tend to align pretty well with the intelligentsia, but not with the industrialists. That having been said, I think... Oh no, the petite bourgeoisie are in the hands of a Republican now, so I'm, this is Republicanism, right? I'm not making that up? Yes, that's correct. Alright, so with their support, the bill shall pass, and we'll just let them have a small penalty. Alright, and we got a liberal revolt rocking the Netherlands, but it looks like China and the Dutch East Indies are supporting the Netherlands, so I'm not too worried about it. Venezuela does not have war support protection at this point, so I think we're going to be able to press all of our war goals with absolutely no problems. Colombia is not a negotiating participant. I can give them Colombian war reparations just to mess with Colombia, but that would be very silly. I'm not going to do that. That would be absolute chicanery. That would be total silliness. I'm not going to do that. And we are now in January, which means I can make North Peru a dominion, and then I can go after Ecuador. And that'll be excellent. Then it'll just be the south that we need to finish taking over and subjugating. And then all of South America will be part of the Brazilian sphere. And that will be excellent. A strong Brazil. We're continuing to grow in GDP. That hook downward is our civil war, by the way. About, 10, 15 years ago now, when the landowners decided they wanted to fight over slavery. Jerks. Let's see. We got nitroglycerin in the queue. I'm going to go with Central Archives. I'm really feeling the pressure of their bureaucracy. Hey, there's rifling. Excellent. So we'll just go ahead and pop our arms industries over to making rifles. Oh, that's actually going to cost a bunch of steel. And we only have the one steel mill, as far as I can tell. No, we're going to have two. Steel is really expensive in the market, right? Yes, it is. All right. We'll actually queue this steel mill all the way up to the top now. And there's the end of the war. So, North Peru, can I reduce autonomy? They will accept. Confirm. We're going to improve relations with Venezuela once again. Colombia is solid with us. North Peru accepts the demands. And law advancement. Wonderful. So how long until we can reduce Colombia's autonomy? 14 months. Alright, so that should be just fine. And North Peru is our color now. So Ecuador next. 9.8 infamy. That's actually too much for what we can do right now. So we're just going to have to live without it. We have a silk shortage because we have textile mills operating with the method. Actually, let's see if we can't get some silk somewhere. France will sell us silk at a good price. So let's bring some in. No, thank you, Great Britain. I'm about to be a great power. Not about to be, but I'm going to be a great power at some point. Oh my goodness. Austria is in the midst of a massive civil war. They got a huge liberal revolt over in the east. That's wild. You go buck wild, Austria. You go absolutely buck wild. Austria, don't let your dreams be dreams. Let's see, so the liberal revolt is a technocratic presidential republic. That's really curious. They're already on technocracy. That's wild. I'm not on technocracy yet. I'm barely even introducing the idea of technocracy. Colonization in Africa is actually getting underway now. So if I want to get in on that, I'm going to need to move quickly. But I'm still working on protectionism. I might go ahead and do a colonization law. That would make a bunch of people happy. But it would also cost me a bunch more bureaucracy. So I can't be too enthusiastic about that. Nitroglycerin is getting going. So that is going to allow us to output more explosives, which will in turn allow us to use more explosives in our mines. Perfect. Up progress to voting, and there's an explosive shortage, so it's a pretty good thing. We're outputting more explosives in a few weeks then. Perfect. So we'll get these explosives factories over to the ammonia soda process. That'll have them be producing a bunch more explosives. And that is not as much more as I was hoping they would produce. They have a maximum capacity of 80, but they can't hire again, and I'm really not clear why. We have universities, we have labor. Why are they not hiring? Anyway, not going to worry too much about that. Oh, Louis Labatut is finally retired. So let's see, who's heading up the Liberals now? A nihilist. Well, that is interesting. I could go to State Atheism. The Catholic Church would be angry, but it would be a really interesting... It would be a really interesting experiment. We're basically doing run-of-the-mill liberalism for a while in this Peru run, and that's been our kind of plan the whole time, but it would be It would be wild if we went forward with a really weird change in our ideology. It would give us a bunch of extra authority. We could do big state atheism. Why is the emperor unpopular? Because he's a bigot. Got it. Well, that'll do it. Campaign financing. Parties, particularly the Conservative Party, are struggling to raise enough funds for all their campaign needs this election. Let's see what you men are charging. Fees, yes, that's to be expected, but what's this? Lodging charge? That fancy hotel room could house half a village. There's enough wine here to drown a fish. Votes don't come cheap, sir. You do want to win, right? Some money can be spared for the Conservative Party. It's not that much. Every party can be provided with basic funding this election cycle, plus one opposition interest group approval. Now there's an intriguing idea. Or if a party can't afford to campaign, should be campaigning minus 10% momentum. I'm going to do this middle one. Getting extra approval from the opposition is very good, particularly if you're going to do something they don't like, say, going to state atheism. Which I could do. French mass migration. Is my standard of living higher than France? No, but it's getting there. Oh, that's really interesting. Wait a minute, hold on. France are number 3? Who's the number 2 great power now? Because usually it's Great Britain and then France. Russia. Russia has exceeded France in the great power rankings. That is bananas. That's wild. So I think at this point, I'm going to put some more frigates and some more man o' wars into the Armada Nacional. And I think that's going to make this fleet overall much stronger. We'll do even a few more man o' wars. We'll put a couple in. We'll put one in Bahia. And then one more each in our 2 other coastal areas where we're building all this stuff. Are we importing explosives? Oh, right. I did the explosives thing, and I didn't even pay attention to it. Hold on. Where's explosives? It's right here in the middle. All right, so let's go ahead and increase the sulfur mines for sure, and the lead mines and the gold mines. The lead and sulfur mines, just because the lead's the input resource for all of our explosive stuff, so it's important that that stays big. And then the coal mines we can as well. And it's the iron mines that are actually going to cost a bunch of explosives. So that has likely really increased the price of explosives. Let's once again check. The explosives factory, this has a capacity to generate 80 explosives total. So how much more do we need for these iron mines? We got 13 of them, and nitroglycerin adds 5 explosives each. That's actually not that much. That's only 65. We have the ability to. There's protectionism. Excellent. The temptation is high, but I'm going to wait. I'm still working on all these railways. There's so many, and I need them so very badly. On the other hand, adding those explosives inputs would really, really increase my iron output, and that would mean I wouldn't need to build quite so many of these mines, although again, I would need to build more explosives factories here in Rio de Janeiro. I think I'm going to queue that in, and once those get built, we'll go ahead and make the explosives thing happen. So I'm just going to put the naval bases above that, all that other industry, and then we'll just kind of see how things go. So now that our infamy is a little lower, I think I can go after Ecuador without a problem. 9.9, we're currently at 14.0. I think that is enough. Yeah, I think that's enough. So, hi there, be my protectorate. They have chosen the path of war. I think we only need one army to deal with this. We'll grab the 4th Brazilian army, put them on the front. I'm not at all concerned about this situation, truth be told. We'll go ahead and grab the Armada Nacional and put them over here. Man, if only there was some way to get from over here to over here without having to sail all the way around the... This isn't the Cape of Good Hope. There's a different name. There's a name for this one. Cape of Good Hope's the one over here, but I don't remember what it is. That just says Chilean Sea, and that's the Scotia Sea. Is that Scotia? I don't think that's Scotia. Anyway, no harm, no foul. Explosives shortage. Again, don't know why. Explosives factory should offer excellent wages on account of it's building something that our customs union needs a ton of. And those are the election results. We got 93% of the vote or something. Some absolutely absurd number. I could actually pull in the rural folk if I wanted to, but I don't really want to at this time. So, let's look at what this will do. So they'll only be down at -4. I think we're going to do it. We're going to State Atheism. Let's try this. This is going to be really weird. This is going to cost us a little bit of authority. We'll go ahead and repeal our consumption tax on coffee. This is going to be really different. We're going to see how this goes, because this is something that's actually a recently released well, not recently, but it's as of the current patch. So we have a counter movement. We have a better than average chance of a successor debate, so we're definitely going to be able to do it eventually unless we get absolutely rotten luck. But we'll need to be cautious. Doing a big atheism here in Brazil. I don't know to what extent this will change other countries' opinions of us. I'm going to continue to improve relations with Argentina. I can't improve relations with Chile. Our relations with them are great. Peru, Bolivia, they are rebellious. I'm actually... Oh, I don't have the influence to improve relations with them. That's curious. Do I... Two arms. I'm not going to worry about this war too much. Our force comparison here is so strong that I'm extremely confident. That's a great hat. Juan Villegas. That's a fantastic hat. I will say that. Alright, I'm done. What are we spending this influence on? We're getting a penalty from having a bigoted ruler. We're getting a little bit of extra from our rivalry with Denmark. Are we only rivals with Denmark? Who else can we rival? Let's rival Baden. Greece too. Extraterritoriality in God's nation. Attempting to expel missionaries, clerics, and faith healers and the like has caused an uproar abroad. Great Britain has resisted the forced extradition of their citizens in Brazil. No, I will not abide these laws. I am a man of God, and I will not be bullied out of my noble purpose. You could drag me out in manacles, and I would still be legally entitled to enter this place. If I am forced to, I shall invoke extraterritoriality upon this farce. We should rethink this before we have a war. Minus 15% enactment chance. Intelligentsia, very unhappy. Force them out if you have to. 13 infamy. Oh, interesting. Or they can stay if they swear off their faith. Minus 5% enactment chance. 2% of clergymen pops become more radical. Catholic Church, very unhappy. Force them out if you have to. This creates infamy. I can live with infamy. This war is going well, and I don't need to fight more wars right now. But I don't want to anger my Catholic Church any more than I already have done. So, let's go with the middle one. So we're now infamous. We got a little bit of extra influence now. So let's go ahead and improve relations with Peru, Bolivia, which we were planning on doing. And then, let's see. So how has this impacted our relationships with the European powers? We're back to amicable with Great Britain and France. Prussia, we're in cordial. Austria, we're neutral. Russia, we're neutral. So we could definitely stand to increase... Oop. Okay, they are going back to the front. We had a front kerfuffle here. But they're on their way back, so that shouldn't be a problem. All right, perfect. Good to go. Enemy does not have war support protection, so they are continuing to lose the war support at an alarming rate. And we should be able to propose peace pretty soon. And then we just need to make sure that we're not... Yeah, so now that we're infamous for having a penalty to our... Ooh, fractional distillation. Nice. A penalty to our influence. Golden indulgences. The armed forces have begun carrying out seizures from every Catholic place of worship in Rio de Janeiro. Every structure, artwork, and piece of gold kitsch are being tallied for liquidation. Right? That's just what's in the presbytery. What's he got in his quarters? Sir, we pulled all this from one of the ambulatory chapels. Bugger me, there's enough gold in there to start a new mine. Call up 4 more men, search the remaining chapels on the double. Melt the gold and remint it. We get a bunch of extra tax income and extra enactment chance, but Catholic pops become really salty. Allow our brave forces some danger pay, 5% enactment chance, 5% Catholic pops become salty, become radical. Oh, I see. This one's 5% in Rio de Janeiro, 2% in Brazil. This one's just 5% in Rio de Janeiro. 5% enactment chance, armed forces approval. Or give the clerics a stipend to start new lives. 5% enactment chance, 2% of lower strata pops in Rio de Janeiro become loyalist. I'm going to do the last one, because I need that enactment chance, and that's really going to help. Did enactment chance go down somehow? I feel like we were higher than 15% before. Well, we'll see. In any case, that is the end. Well, it's basically the end of our war, but that's all the time we've got for this episode. We took over Ecuador, and we took over Venezuela, and now we're working on state atheism. It's been fun. I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun as well, and I will see you all on the other side.